Last time I had financial freedom was probably 2014 when I moved out here. That was the end of it. Seriously, like 2014. Last night, I played it. And now keep in mind, launch day, I played 5.5 hours of it, but then I wasn't able to play it right again because I had to finish up Baldur's Gate 3 and Like a Dragon, which I have. Then I played it again on Saturday night, and now I played it again on Monday night. Last night, it was a decent attendance, let's put it that way. But what I found is half the people that were there were just there to troll. They were just a bunch of new accounts I'd never seen before, and they're saying stupid shit, and they're saying disgusting things. Their names are all messed up, and they're just sitting there trolling in the chat. I'm like, ugh, you know, when I get a late night chill stream, I just want to relax with the audience and enjoy the game and interact a lot. We didn't get that last night, although there were a few people there that were very helpful. Fuck them. With the game or whatever. Basically, it was very frustrating to have a lot of idiots in the chat. I was like, oh my God, I got to deal with this shit, right? And to be very frank, engagement was low and support was very low. And, you know, the thing is, I can have like one, what's considered late night chill stream game in the rotation where we don't get a lot of engagement or support. It's more about a smaller crowd, a niche audience that likes it, okay? And that's the game that's how it happened. That's literally what Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth was. For end of January all the way until just this week, that was my late night chill stream game, where for 2 months, I knew I wasn't going to get a lot of people. I knew I wasn't going to get a lot of support, but I liked the game and I wanted to continue on with it, and it went for 60 some hours, okay? It's okay to have one game like that in the rotation, but I can't have 2-3 games like that in the rotation. I've got to find games that people actually want to see, will come out to engage and support. That's how I maintain this business. That's how I'm able to do what I love for a living, is that balance, all right? Again, if I just played all the games that I always wanted to play, it wouldn't work. I've got to find that happy medium between everything I love, what you guys love, and the things that we can do together that are going to work out, right? I'm an evil, dirty, heinous scammer who steals money from little children. And that's why I love having these interactive conversations with all of you, because I get your feedback right away and we get to judge what's going on. And honestly, that's why I'm upset about the comments. I was trying to get comments on the gameplay last night and my daily wrap last night to find out what to do today. I couldn't get the comments approved. It really frustrated me. I'm like, dude, this is the time I really need feedback. And if YouTube didn't want to work, I'm like, oh my God, that's really what drove me nuts this morning. After last night's stream, it's like, it performed so poorly. I mean, literally, I got like 1 super chat all night. I think it was 2 memberships and like 2 tips. So it was like maybe $10 raised. And again, it's not always about that. Is this going to be a pattern for this game? Is this going to be my late night chill stream game, just like a Dragon, where that's the case? If that's the case, okay. But then I got to be sure that everything else I'm doing is in line with what you want so that those streams do better. Okay, so that's the question I'm proposing to everyone. Dragon's Dogma 2, what do you think about it? If you don't think the game's good, why? Is there something I can do about the playthrough to improve it so people will actually show up and engage and support with those streams? Or is it destined to be a game that people just aren't going to like? And if that's the case, why? Because I really want to know. Because remember, I was going to play Rise of the Ronin. I was dead set on playing Rise of the Ronin. And you guys convinced me otherwise and said, no. I remember the day I was sitting right here. And I said, what would you say? Everyone, DD2, 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 DD2. Everyone wanted Dragon's Dogma 2. Everyone asked for it. And I said, all right, I guess I'll change my mind. I'll listen to your opinions. I'll do what you want. And now here we are playing it. And now people are like, nah. Because as you know, guys, just so you know, because the economy is down and inflation is up, no one is supporting streamers right now. There absolutely are not any streamers right now who are streaming who are getting insane amounts of contributions from dummies. You know, none of that's happening. No. Didn't you know there's a giant streamer crash right now? Did you hear about it? It's all over the news. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So what happened, right? Where is that discrepancy? Is it a problem with the game? Is it a problem with my play style? Is it a problem with both? Is it a problem with the time slot? I want to know. Because sadly, I hate to say it, this kind of game, I don't think would work as a day stream. As I said, the day streams usually have to be focused on games that have a lot of narrative or a lot of, say, like different kinds of action and stuff like that. This game is just open world roaming, grinding a lot of repetitive combat, not a lot of big narrative or story elements at all. The game has almost none. It's very bare bones in that regard. It's more about exploring the world and smashing monsters constantly. Excuse me. So I need to know your opinions, and I definitely want to hear. See, Zero says if you're not enjoying it, it won't work. Who says I'm not enjoying Dragon's Dogma 2? Where am I going? I don't know where I am or where I'm going. I can't tell where anything is at night. How is this the game's fault? Because the game is fucking stupid. It doesn't tell you how to do it. It just expects that you're going to magically know when to go, how to do it. Look, you ready? Here's what the quest says. You're to attend a masquerade. In order to get an entry, dress in formal raiment. I have formal raiment. I have the mask. I walk to the waypoint and it lets me in and everyone leaves. That's the game's fault. So fuck you. Like I said, I'm not in love with the game, but I feel like I'm just getting into a rhythm of playing it. I played it 5.5 hours on launch day, 2 hours on Saturday night, 2 hours last night, and I just got a new build. I just got the warrior build and I'm trying to learn it. And are there some frustrating things about the game? There are. But I feel like just like with the first time that I played this game, it grew on me. Like originally when I played Dragon's Dogma 1 12 years ago, at first I was definitely kind of like, oh, I don't know about it. But once I finally got into a rhythm, once I got a build that I really liked, I ended up enjoying it a lot more. I did treat it, quite frankly, even though I wasn't a streamer, I treated it like my chill game. Like I would sit back and relax and I would play it and I would have a drink and I would grind and I would kill monsters and I would record that footage and upload it. And honestly, it didn't do that well. Do you want to know the truth? Dragon's Dogma, the original playthrough, didn't do that well. I think it was like the first, few days that I played it did okay. And then after that, once you got to the part where you realize, oh, the formula is just a bunch of open world grinding, it actually didn't do well at all. I remember because I wanted to rush to finish it because I was going on a trip. And then I beat it, but then everyone's like, there's a post-game dungeon. I was like, seriously? Well, let me just rush and finish the dungeon. And come to find out the dungeon is like 6-7 hours long. I thought it was like an hour long. So I was rushing to finish it. I didn't get it done. I just remember that. Okay? So basically, I know for a fact, even back then, this franchise didn't do that well in my content. And that was when I was at the peak of my height of popularity on YouTube. So that's what's frustrating here is I don't know what to do about this game. Is this a game you want me to keep playing? How do I adjust it to make it work? I tried it as a day stream, but the feedback is essentially, excuse me, essentially it's not as good of a game as people thought it was going to be. And as a day stream, it's going to fail because it's just a lot of combat, right? Again, there's not major story elements or things that are really going to happen. The cutscenes are limited. It's more run around, smash enemies, run around again, smash more enemies. That's the game. That's way more in line with my late night chill stream mantra of, hey, come on, just relax. We're doing some gameplay, but we're also going to talk and interact to make it more interesting as opposed to me being hyper-focused on the game. That's how it's always been, okay? So, does Dragon's Dogma 2 work? If it doesn't work, then what do I do? What the fuck? Oh, hi.
Stop begging and get a job.
All right, thanks. Do I drop the game? Do I only play it as a late night chill stream and just accept that it's always going to be a slower stream with way low support? Like, what do I do? Right? I want to know. I genuinely want to know. I need feedback here. I'm okay with continuing to play it as a chill stream. I don't think it's ever going to work as a day stream because of the style of game it is, just being honest. But it sucks because people convinced me it would. That's why I bought it. That's why I'm playing it. I would have been playing Rise of the Ronin, and I guess I don't know if I made the correct decision here. Now, the funny part about all of this is, people in the chat are saying, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Don't you remember?
Nope.
I didn't skip the game. You guys talk as if I skipped the game and didn't play it. I did. I'm 20 hours in. I think I stopped around the 20-hour mark. And the reason I stopped is because people were not showing up to the streams. I remember the last stream I did of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, okay? We had 200 viewers.
On a day stream.
Day streams where typically you can get 300, 400, 500, depending on the game. We had 200. The people who were on the stream were actively complaining during the entirety of the stream that they were bored. They were like, wow, we had no idea this game was this boring. It just is. It's just really boring. And it sucks because I like the game. I actually like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I was having a good time with it. Admittedly, when I got to the second open world area and I realized, man, the open world content is so similar to the first area. I wonder if it's all the same for the whole thing, right? But for the most part, I was enjoying myself. I was having a good time. But people were constantly complaining. Every time you do the card game, it's boring. Well, you need to play the card game because there's card game stuff in the story later and you need to have good cards to beat it. We don't care. It's still boring. Gorilla Pimp Chew says, what's up? I hate this boring-ass game. I would rather eat bird shit live on a stream than play this here. And here's hoping you're having a beautiful day. Thank you very much for that support, Gorilla X Pimp. I appreciate that. I didn't put the card game in the game. I didn't design the game. I'm just playing the game for what it is. And then I'm doing the open world content because it's there. It's part of the game. Oh, this is boring. So do you want me to just skip it all? I can. But then people will complain that I didn't do all the content of the game. I rushed through it, right? So what do you want, right? But this is what I was faced with when I was playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I was hyped for it. I was excited for it. I was enjoying playing it, and it wasn't in line with what was happening on the streams. People were literally telling me, man, this is boring. Do something else. This is a bust. That's literally exactly what was happening on those streams. Please explain. Please explain, because you're making me nervous. I played Final Fantasy VII, not working. I played Dragon's Dogma 2, not working. What do I equate here? Like, what? Let's be honest. What's the one common factor? So many people right now want me to throw in the towel. They're like, Phil, problems with the channel, false copyright strikes, all the negativity on your videos. Give up. Go get a job. Go get a 9-to-5 job that barely pays your bills and give up on YouTube. They're JRPGs, just like a Dragon. They're JRPGs. This is the problem. And I kept telling you guys this was going to happen. When so much of the same style of game comes out, people will have a shorter attention span. If there was only one JRPG that had come out in the last 3 months and it was the hype one, if there was no Like a Dragon, if there was no Dragon's Dogma, if there was no Persona 3, if there was no Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, if the only JRPG that had come out in the last 3 months was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, everyone would be all over the game. People would be hyped for it, excited. That's what happened with Final Fantasy VII Remake, is that it was the only RPG. All other RPGs stepped back and gave it its birth to come out because they expected it to be this giant dynamo game. They really did. And because of that, everyone was hyper-focused on playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it got a ton of attention. In this case, this is just one amongst many, many JRPGs that have come out in the last 3 months. So all the attention gets all over the place. Like I said, there's not one big game that came out in 2024 yet that's everyone's focus. It just hasn't happened. Even if you're like, oh, well, Helldivers. No. Number one, it didn't get hype. It only got virally popular because people were playing it like streamers. And then even then, it's for a niche audience of people who like online co-op. It is not a ginormous AAA hyped major release that everyone in the gaming industry is playing. It's just not the case. It's a very popular game and people love it, and that's great. I give it credit because, like I said, if it was my style of game, I would be playing it right now, but it's just not. The whole online team-based co-op isn't what I do. There's not been one singular game that's gotten everyone's focus, and this is the problem. I'm trying to get a schedule of games that you guys want. So you'll come by every day, you'll engage, you'll support, you'll have a good time with me. And even if not, maybe only one of the games I'm playing right now is of your interest. Cool. That's why I like being a variety streamer. But I have to get to that level where we get the right balance. Okay? And I'm listening to feedback, and then for some reason, these games aren't clicking. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Dragon's Dogma 2 both have not clicked.
Maybe a little bit, and now it went.
We can suspend Dragon's Dogma 2, and we can go back to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But if I do that, I want all of you people who have been screaming at me for the last month about not playing Rebirth to actually show up. You have to come. You understand? You have to show up. Not scream about it, say you want it, and then when I play it, the stream is dead. Everyone's complaining that no one likes it. It's boring. Like, what's the point then? Mark McCauley says, hint, hint. Dude, no hint, hint. I'm outright telling you, I really would appreciate some help via tipping. That's not a hint. Because that's literally what the feedback that I was getting is, this game sucks. It's boring. It's not as good as we thought it was going to be. And I was shocked because I thought for sure it was going to be a big event game. And that's the reaction I got. That's the question, right? What are we going to do? Or if no one can agree and everyone's just going to argue at each other and everyone's not going to show up to those streams anyway, I'm just going to play Final Fantasy VI in the Pixel Remaster. And if I get 10 people, I'll still be grinning ear to ear because I love the game. So I guess that's a question. Like, what is it? What are we going to do? We can only have one of those in the rotation. Only one. Okay? And we'll see. But I need feedback. I need opinions. I need to know what's going on. We have to figure this out. Now, as of now, I do have a late night stream of Dragon's Dogma 2 scheduled for tomorrow night. So I think what I might do, we'll leave that for now. Let's leave that set for now. Let's see how that does tomorrow. All right? And if it comes back and if people show up and engage in support and it ends up working out, then we'll just keep that in the rotation. But if I play it again tomorrow and it's just the same as it was and disappointing and people are upset and not liking it, then we're going to do something different. Okay? Okay? Because this is the problem. Like I said, since there's no definitive game that everyone wants, we get these problems, right? It's just like someone said it very recently in a comment. Remember? Here was what they said. They said the problem that you're having right now is that everyone wants games, but no one can agree on what game. When people say, hey, Phil, we want more of you. We want more chill time with you. Oh. And you do a late night chill stream and you talk with us for 2 hours, everyone's getting what they want, chilling with you. But when people say we want more games, the problem is no one agrees on the game. Someone wants Dragon's Dogma. Someone wants Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Someone wants a classic Final Fantasy game. Someone wants you to go back and do a second run of Baldur's Gate 3. You see what I'm saying? And when people scream, poll, 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 and I've literally just did a poll twice in the last 2 days on the Throwback channel that was skewed by trolls, I'm suspect of maybe you have the bad intentions. You know what I'm saying? Gaspavelli says, I think your mainstream watchers just have low attention spans. Laughing out loud. I go watch RPG playthroughs on demand. And I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Those who are checking out the playthroughs on demand, that's very nice of you. All right? But being frank, problem is I get it. There is an audience for this stuff. But sadly, I don't make my living from that. I make my living from the streams. From the contributions on these streams, the super chats, the memberships, gifted memberships and tips. This is what keeps me afloat most of the month.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills, the electric bill, the internet bill, and the incredible amount of games, new games.
Highest Darkness, I understand what you're saying. It's never going to work. That's not me. He says it's because you're missing the release windows of the games. It doesn't matter if I play it on the release window. It doesn't. I'm still not going to get that at the level that you're talking about. I played Dragon's Dogma 2 all day on release day. Didn't you know that? I played it on release, right? I even made a room in my schedule for it. These games, these lengthy RPGs, do not retain audiences. They just never do. They're too long. People are fickle. People want to see a game when it's flash in the pan popular for a day or two, and then they move on to the next what's flash in the pan popular. The difference is there's no big games. If there was a big game, it would retain attendance. Resident Evil 4 Remake retained attendance. Hogwarts Legacy retained attendance for at least 2 to 3 weeks before it fell off. You know, any new FromSoft game definitely retains attendance. It's the problem is these games, they just 1 or 2 days people are excited and they move right on. I'm not a streamer that jumps from game to game and drops them on a whim. I don't make enough money to do that, quite frankly. I can't buy 2 $70 games a week, play it for 2 streams, drop it, buy 2 more $70 games the next week, drop them, buy 2 more. You know, I'm in it for the long haul for a lot of these games. That's the point. And the point is the problem is there's too many of the same fucking style of long games. Too many long RPGs. So I got to lay down the law and say I'm only playing one at a time. Okay? And we got to figure it out. What's it going to be?
My stream, my rules.
So that's the feedback I need. Now, I feel like I've explained this as rationally and matter-of-factly as I can to my audience of what we're doing. We got to figure out what's going to be the RPG. We're still going to be doing Elden Ring. It's a necessary thing we have to do now to prepare for the DLC. But everything else, like this RPG stuff, we have to figure out. Okay? And by the way, we're going to finish Alone in the Dark sooner rather than later. We're going to play it tomorrow, and probably we're playing it again on like Monday, and it's done. It's not a super long game. So then we have opportunity to do something else. Okay? And what will it be? I don't know. We got to talk about that. It could be anything. It could be a game we get from Game Pass. It could be a game that I skipped and we want to bring into the fold because I skipped it. You know, it could be anything. I'm okay with that, you know. But we got to figure this out. If this is doing better than me playing the game, then I know what the problem is. It's the fucking games. Sure. What the fuck? Right? Seriously. That's the problem. I can do a late night chill stream. Impromptu, and people show up and just hang out with me to talk for 2 hours, and the stream performs well, I'm not the problem. The games industry has changed. It has. It's not like it used to be. It used to be big, high priority, AAA, hyped. Everyone wants to play them games. Now everyone's run off to their little genre corners. There's the RPGs over here, the FromSoft games over here, the looter shooters over here, the co-op games over here, the meme games over here, the sports game over here, the fighting game over here, and everyone's just off in their own little circles doing whatever they want, and nothing ever feels big. Nothing ever feels momentous. Nothing ever feels like it's driving all the attention of the gaming community anymore. What was the last game that did that? What are we going to do? And here you go. I love it. 0 accountability, 0 chat, 0 fucking interaction. You're banned. You're a fucking idiot. Literally all evidence points to it's the games right now. Because I've tried everything. I've listened to feedback. I've played the games you want. And if it doesn't work, how could it be me? My streams of me just talking do better. So what the fuck are you talking about? Kiss my ass. Fucking idiot.
Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Whoa.